Alright guys, so we learned about how to make the salt dough in a previous video, and I'm just going to show you a couple different things you can do with your salt dough that are a lot of fun and make some very interesting sculptures for you, or 3D works of art. So I'm going to take just a little bit of it. I'm probably not going to use the whole thing. And what we're going to do is make a flower. So you are going to need a bowl for this, just any kind of bowl. You're going to need some saran wrap to keep it from sticking to the bowl. That way it'll retain its shape without getting stuck in there. And then I'm going to say you need about 1/3 to 1/2 of your salt dough. So I'm going to take about that much, and then I'm going to roll the rest back up and set it aside. So to make our flowers, most flowers have petals that are very similar in shape. So all the petals are going to be a similar shape. They don't necessarily end up being the same size. So what I like to do is just flatten slabs so that it gets about the same thickness. You don't want it too thick. And actually, you know what I might do? I might just flatten out one big slab so that I get a whole bunch of petals I can cut out at once. And you can really do any flower petal shape that you would like for this. I think I'm going to do just a basic kind of teardrop shape for my petals. But the main thing is you want it to be the right thickness when you start. And if you remember from our clay projects, we always made the thickness about somewhere in between your thumb and pinky thickness. I would stick closer to your pinky for this particular project. Don't get thinner than your pinky or it's going to break on you, or it could break. All right, so I'm going to start creating petals, and I'm simply either tearing or cutting. In this instance, I'm just going to tear my petal shapes, and I'm making a teardrop shape for my petals. And I'm going to get them all kind of made at once. And then you'll notice a flower shape really just kind of layers those petals together. You also are looking for a similar shape, but a flower is an organic form, and organic means it's found in nature instead of geometric, like a circle or square. So that also means that it is okay if you notice how mine are not entirely the same or exactly the same. That's totally fine. You do not have to make each petal look exactly the same. And in fact, the more variety you add with those petals, the more realistic it's going to look in the long run. All right, let's keep getting some petals. And remember, I grabbed about 1/3 of the dough that I made from the other day. So if I need more, there is more dough available. All right. If you would like to cut these out instead of forming them with your hands like I'm doing, I would use just a butter knife. That works really well for cutting. You can also cut with like a fork, end of a fork, plastic spoons. Really any plastic or metal utensils you have around the house should work fine. Okay. I'm going to finish forming these, and then I'll get them put in there for you. Once I have my petals formed, I'm going to start layering them into my bowl. So I am just putting one on top of the other, and I'm going around in kind of a circular motion as I do that. And this is a very simple way to make a flower shape, and it's also a really good way to work on skills such as unity with variety by showing repetition, and to practice our organic forms. This will harden. The best thing that I found for getting a flower out of salt dough to harden is to leave it like this overnight and then take it out, and it should have held its form a little bit, so you can turn it upside down and take the saran wrap off so it has a chance to dry. Now I had a little extra dough, so I'm going to use that to make the center of my flower, which can just be a ball shape. You can try to create some pistils and stamens. Those are the long parts that come out of the flower. Whatever you would like to make it the type of flower you want. And that overall flower shape. Okay, there you have it. So I've created a basic flower, and as I said, you can just leave it like this to dry overnight and then take it out, flip it over, remove the saran wrap from the bottom to let it dry thoroughly. Once these are dry, they will be hard, so they do work really well with like watercolor paints or markers to color it and add some color. All right, guys, that's it for today.